a language other than English. Tommy kept his rather awkward tackle of me in the film. It looks playful on screen, but it was anything but in reality. Principal photography on the room was a single location away from being complete. The last task was to find a flower shop willing to host a film shoot for several hours with no warning. Tommy told us he had a flower shop in mind at the intersection of 16th and Dehon Streets, a few blocks from his condo. We found its two owners sitting and chatting. Tommy's tantalizing offer: he would give the women $20 in exchange for a dozen roses and their permission to film in their flower shop for the rest of the afternoon. I didn't expect them to go for these terms, but to my surprise, the women looked at each other and said, "Sure, why not?" Tommy was so pleased that he announced he would let the women play themselves. Then again, Tommy needed them to play themselves because he didn't have any extras. Todd Barron came into the store and found Tommy saying, "I want people, I want life. We can't just have empty store." He then turned to the makeup artist and charmed her into extra duty. She's the woman browsing through gift cards to finish film. It had been a hairy, frantic couple of days, and Tommy was now buzzing ferociously on energy drinks. "I'm losing my mind," he kept saying as the crew set up. Tommy was back to being the hilarious, fun-loving, easygoing San Francisco weirdo I'd first met. Todd Barron had his camera ready. Tommy stood next to him, sugar-stoned and chattering away. "Make sure you get this thing. Details, Mr. Cameraman. I want to have these flowers also in shot. And make sure you get the girl looking at cards. Very important. Also, when I enter, give me good tight close-up. The more lights, the better." Todd Barron looked through his eyepiece, breathing himself into some refined Zen state. "You are missing roses," Tommy said to him. "We must have better close-up also when I put sunglasses on forehead." Todd Barron stopped what he was doing, turned to Tommy, and said, "Just get in the damn shot." It had taken until the very last location of the very last day, but Tommy had finally rattled the single most laid-back man on the crew. Tommy rehearsed walking in and out of the flower shop at least 10 times, while the owner memorized her few lines of dialogue. "We have moment-to-moment acting in my film," he said to her. "Words are secondary." Truer words have perhaps never been spoken. The dialogue Tommy composed for the flower shop scene, which flies back and forth like some sort of postmodern Who's on First sketch, has the super compressed density of experimental verse. "Hi, can I help you? Yeah, can I have a dozen red roses, please? Oh, hi, Johnny, I didn't know it was you. Here you go. That's me. How much is it? That'll be $18. Here you go. Keep the change. Hi, doggy. You're my favorite customer. Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye-bye." The flower shop owner, I think, deserves some kind of neo-Oscar for selling what might be the scene's funniest line. "Oh, hi, Johnny, I didn't know it was you." "You didn't know it was him? Who did you think it was?" Tommy did the scene several times. No matter how badly he messed up his dialogue, he immediately headed over to Todd Barron and asked, "How'd this come out?" He wanted to watch playback after every take. It wasn't until one of the very last takes that Tommy noticed something none of us had, which was the tiny pug dog sitting on the counter. The little guy hadn't moved at all since we'd come in. Not once. He just sat there, motionless. When Tommy finally noticed the dog, it was in the middle of a take. Going with it, Tommy patted it on its tiny, wrinkly noggin and said, "Hi, doggy," and walked away. We watched the scene on playback. It was perfect. To paraphrase the dude, the estimable hero of The Big Lebowski, it really tied the scene together. In fact, might be Tommy's most candid moment in the entire film, and the clearest evidence of the lovable and endearing side of his personality. Hi, doggy. It was warm, accidental genius. Before running the scene one final time, Tommy wanted to talk to the flower shop owner about her dog. So cute, he said as he petted the dog. Hopefully he doesn't bite me, my God. I think the owner somehow misinterpreted this as Tommy wanting the dog out of the next take. Well, she said, he's actually really old now. He just sits around. He won't bother anyone. He kind of rules over this counter. Tommy nodded. So, is it real thing? Flower shop owner looked at Tommy uncertainly. I'm sorry, she said after a moment. Your dog, Tommy said, unfazed. Is it real thing? The woman kept looking at Tommy, probably trying to figure out whether this man who'd taken over her store was really asking if her dog was real. Did Tommy think it was a robot? An android pug of some kind? Yes, the woman said finally. My dog is a real thing. With that, we ran the scene a final time, after which filming for The Room officially wrapped. That night, we all celebrated at a restaurant called Tommy's Joint. Yes, that was its name. After 4 months of filming, The Room was finally in the can. I stayed in the Bay Area for the next week to decompress and visit family. Tommy was also staying in San Francisco. Well, business, he said, and a few days later asked if I could help him move some stuff with my SUV. When I went to pick Tommy up, his condo was more chaotic than I'd ever seen it. Among the bags of trash and clothing were piles of photos and papers, some of which had been scattered across his coffee table. Tommy was in too good of a mood to bother apologizing for the mess. The moment I walked in, he said he had something to show me. With that, he vanished into another room. I picked up one of the pictures and saw a younger, smiling, fresh-faced Tommy with the Street Fashions USA logo superimposed above him. I figured it was an old promo card. I also noticed an ID tag from a 1993 Las Vegas retailer convention, and next to that, a TPW Inc. business card with his name misspelled, Thomas P. Wizaw. Tommy came back into the room holding up a VHS tape. This is a surprise for you. At first I thought I was not going to show you, but then I changed my mind. So here you go, your present. What is it? We watch, he said, and you find out. It was the first rough cut of The Room. I now learned that Tommy had asked his editor to piece together footage of the movie as it was being filmed. That meant it also wasn't yet sound synced, dubbed, or instrumentally scored, but it was something to behold all the same. Tommy had used placeholder music, Journey, Sade, and Bon Jovi, as a temporary soundtrack. The first, Johnny Lee's sex scene, for instance, was backed up by Bon Jovi's Always. In fact, the scene ran for the exact duration of the song, which is 6 minutes, twice as long as in The Room's final cut. At one point in the film, I glanced over at Tommy, who was beaming. He was filled with such joy and pride. This movie and moment was his. It belonged to him. And I wanted to let Tommy savor it. I imagined him enjoying many future solo screenings in his living room, staring at the television, smiling like he was now, and being in that moment the movie star he knew he could be. This was his glorious $6 million home movie. Right before we left, Tommy handed me a copy of the rough cut to take home. Watch with your family, he said. Your mother will be shocked. After loading up my car with merchandise from the Street Fashions USA on Beach Street, Tommy directed me to a store on 8th Street 15 minutes away to unload. It was another Street Fashions location. "As you can see," he said as he unlocked the door, "somebody's powerful person." It appeared Tommy was having a liquidation sale. All the merchandise had been thrown carelessly onto the shelves. He posted homemade sale signs on the windows. He'd even placed a sky tracker spotlight outside the front door. "I'm changing business," he said. "I think I do movies now." I returned to my folks' house that evening, rough cut in hand. My brother David and his girlfriend, who were living in Sacramento, had come to visit for the night. After we'd caught up, David looked at me knowingly. "So," he said, "guess how old Tommy is?" My brother and I had a long-running debate about Tommy's real age, which continued even after Tommy's driver's license had appeared to confirm that he really was in his 30s. "But there's no way," my brother had said, "that Tommy is only 7 years older than me." Fight. It turned out David's girlfriend had a friend with state government connections. According to public records, Tommy was born much earlier than 1968. It was nice to know David and I weren't crazy, but after I considered the lengths to which Tommy had gone to conceal his age, my feelings turned a bit heavy. Suddenly I was thinking about himself that Tommy actually accepted me. I hoped that, in some way, completing the room would help him begin to embrace who he really was. With popcorn popped, my family and I settled in to watch the film. Within the first few minutes, everyone was laughing so hard they could barely breathe. "Greg," David said, it's incredible. Imagine playing this in front of a packed house. They think they're going to watch some intense, dramatic movie, and then this comes on. You could retire off this thing." "I have to show this to my friend," his girlfriend kept saying over and over again. My mother absolutely lost it when Tommy says to Lisa, "In a few minutes, bitch." My father, a dear, restrained, altogether good-hearted man who enjoys the daily newspaper's crossword puzzles, Seinfeld, and going to bed at 9 p.m., was laughing so hard he had to take off his glasses every few minutes to wipe the tears from his eyes. Not a scene transpired without someone crying out, "Wait, rewind, pause." It was striking to see my family loving this cinematic abomination as much as they were. The room was filled with laughter from beginning to end. Huge, bright, joyful laughter. We finished watching it at 1 a.m. Our cheeks hurt, our stomachs ached, and we felt closer to one another than we had in a long time. Although I didn't know it, my family in Danville, California, had become the room's collective patient zero. Their response to the room was a powerful indicator of what this film would do on a much larger scale. It was not until June 1st, 2003, 8 months later, that I discovered that any other audience would ever have the chance to see the room. I received an invitation from Wizzo Films, cordially inviting me and a guest to the world premiere of The Room, taking place on Friday, June 27, 2003, at 7 p.m. in Los Angeles. 17. This is my life. So they were turning after all, those cameras. Life, which could be strangely merciful, had taken pity on Norma Desmond. The dream she had clung to so desperately had enfolded her. Joe Gillis, Sunset Boulevard. I think it's time we all moved on. Nicky Greenlee, the talented Mr. Ripley. By the time premiere night rolled around, it had been a long time since I'd spoken to Tommy. He vanished into the post-production minutiae of The Room. The last time I had seen him was in his editor's studio in Burbank, shortly after the film wrapped. I had been called in to dub some of my dialogue due to the fact that the sound had been improperly recorded for most of the film. Tommy also insisted on recording dialogue for a PG-rated version of the room, which he hoped would be suitable for primetime television broadcast. Lines like manipulative bitch became manipulative witch. He didn't seem to consider that a much bigger roadblock to his primetime broadcast version of the room might be its 11 minutes of sex scenes. My visit with Tommy and Eric Chase, the film's editor, in Burbank made clear that their working relationship was that of two mountain goats repeatedly butting heads. Tommy's mantra during the editing process: I repeat, nothing would be cut. Nevertheless, a portion of every editing session involved Eric trying to convince Tommy that various scenes either needed to be shortened or lost entirely. This slows down the film, Eric would say of one scene. No, it doesn't, Tommy would respond. This scene has no relevance to anything whatsoever, Eric would say about another scene. Yes, Tommy would counter, it does. Eric was troubled by the lack of continuity. He struggled to make it clear to Tommy that editing couldn't solve every problem. But Tommy saw no problems. The biggest issue was the inclusion of the Lisa Mark love scene Tommy insisted on wedging into the room's last 15 minutes, which resulted in a small time warp that no editing tricks could convincingly account for. How, Eric asked Tommy, am I supposed to edit this? Lisa says she's getting ready for the party tonight, then it's night, and there's no party, then it's day, and she's still getting ready for the party, and you want a love scene thrown in there? Tommy's response, yes, this is the way I see it. Eric's greatest battle was trying to convince Tommy to lose the scene in which Johnny bares his naked ass. Eric's reasoning, the shot scared his wife. Tommy refused. The one battle Eric did manage to win was convincing Tommy to trim 3 minutes from Johnny and Lisa's first sex scene. With the exception of the alternate Chris R. Alley scene, Johnny's living room desk, and all of the HD camera footage, everything else Tommy shot was somehow squeezed into the room's final edit.
Get ready for the
This everything stays mentality extended itself to Tommy's